Good evening, folks. This is John Pettipas doing a recording on my YouTube channel to all you wonderful people out there on YouTube in all over computerland. Welcome back. It's right now 5 minutes past 7 o'clock in the evening on Tuesday night, the 14th day of July. And I just thought of this. I don't have any notes in this part. It is the Bastille Day in France. Canada Day was July 1st in Canada. America, the 4th of July. And today, the 14th of July, is Bastille Day. It's the storming of Bastille. The people arose. They were fed up. They had it up to here with Louis and his wife, Mary Antoinette. They had enough of King Louis and Mary Antoinette, and she could have said, let them eat cake, but the people wanted more than cake. They wanted milk and some independence. And so I say, Vive la France, joyeux, happy Saint, today is a storming of Bastille Day. Happy Bastille Day to all our friends in France and French-blooded people that we are throughout the world. Okay, purpose of today's video. We take in Huawei 5G, Huawei 5G. It's been news since early this morning. It's been a major issue for anybody paying attention to what's going on in the world. Huawei is a Chinese company, be something like Bell Labs, many of the great technology companies in America, former Nortel in Canada, and so on. And they've made tremendous progress, there's no question. Fact of the matter is, they have much of that technology, and it's a fact. Christopher Wray, the FBI director, said the amount of state-sponsored industrial espionage by Communist China is right off the map. He gave an address in the last week. He said it's been the largest transfer of wealth in human history. They steal everything from try to copy our stealth bomber, to technology, to stuff that's patented, disregarding the patent and putting out, they call it bootleg goods, not bootleg liquor or illicit drugs, bootleg goods. You make something and they'll put a similar name on it. Could be a sneaker, could be a brand name piece of clothes. Anyway, we'll focus on Huawei. The terrible and the danger of Huawei is they have these computer chips are so smart. Little teeny tiny computer chip. Very small. Very small. These things can track people. And they can disable our technology. They can corrupt our technology, our data systems. And they can know what we're discussing. They know our business. So anyway, today, Britain, the British usually have a backbone, they showed backbone! Hail Britannia! A couple of minutes ago I said, Vive la France! Long live free France! Well, Hail Britannia! They showed backbone and they are severely restricting Huawei's intrusion into putting this 5G technology in place. Now, I want to point out something else from today's paper. Hong Kong's leader, Carrie Lam. She's the one that's a lamb. I say that. She's the one that's a lamb. Carrie Lam. She said that people protesting, the protesters, are in violation of a new security law. And a new security law, by the way, was voted on for people that aren't following this as closely as I am. They didn't even see what was in the bill. Can you imagine? It says, this is a box, and there's something in this box. I'm not telling you what it is, but I'll tell you how much it is, and you buy it. And after you buy the box, you'll find out what it is. Maybe it's something you need. Maybe it's something you don't need. You wouldn't shop like that, online or in person or whatever. Somebody selling door to door. You wouldn't buy from them. So this lady, Carrie Lam, who was the figurehead governor of Hong Kong for the Communist Chinese, said the people getting out to protest, it's in violation of the law. Now, interestingly, in Russia's not quite as bad as was under the communists, but nonetheless, they do not have the freedoms that we have and take for granted in the Western world, United States, Canada, much of South America, in most of continental Europe and certainly Great Britain, that you can go out and protest. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with the protest or not, they have the right to protest. Okay? Can't do that much. Anyway, the people unabashedly in Russia are out protesting. Vladimir Putin said, I'm in for 20 years. I'm going to be allowed to get elected 2 more terms. I'll be in for another 16 years. Christ, he'll be 80-some years old and he'll still be there. Okay, not wrong with older leaders, but this guy is a former KGB head honcho. Actually, headed up the KGB at one time. So even in Russia, people are protesting. Even in Russia. Piece from last Saturday's paper. Taiwan. Real China, as I repeatedly said, real China, free China is Formosa, Taiwan, Taipei. It is real China, Taipei, Taiwan, real China, free China. Now, Communist China is doing one of these big counter-espionage, I call it lies. Let's call a spade, lies. They put out disinformation. It's not disinformation. They put out lies to try to hoodwink the people that think they can join mainland China and keep their freedom. No, no, no. We only have to look at Hong Kong. Margaret Thatcher back in 1997 had the deal started in 1997, negotiated a couple of years before that for 50 years, Hong Kong would maintain independence, independent form of government. Okay, great world financial center, not as big as New York or London or Toronto, but they now, after 23 years, they're reneging on their word. So, be aware of this, Taiwan. You know that well. I don't have to tell you. You can't trust the government of mainland China. They can't be trusted. Here comes a train. It's a little bit early tonight. I make a point. Communist China has become extremely old, and they're running out of people. And I say that, people laugh at me. What is Pettipas saying? He must be off his rocker. The biggest population in the world, India, they estimate 1.3 billion people. Communist China, mainland China, 1.7 billion people. Fact of the matter is, because of the sin of abortion and forcing one child per family rule for 30 years, for 3 decades on the people. 1, 2, 3. 3 decades forced it on the people. The population has aged greatly. And I know a guy that's big in the fireworks business. And there's a certain city in mainland China produces fireworks. Well, they're getting harder to get people to work there. Okay. If you look at your pajamas and stuff like that, textiles. Some of it's made in Haiti. Some of it's made in the Dominican Republic. A lot of it comes from Bangladesh. A lot of it comes from Vietnam. And the reason is South Africa. You see a fair amount of stuff out of South Africa now. So there goes the train. Choo, choo. So South Africa, Haiti, Bangladesh, and Vietnam, because they have a young population in those countries. Lots of labor. So people can laugh at this, but Communist China is getting very old. Very old. And I make the bold comment, and people can say, boy, you're bold. I stated this before. Verily, verily, means truly, truly. I tell you, Communist China will fall. Yes, Communist China, mainland China will fall. 10 years ago, I had people come in, and she had relatives still in China. Communist China is a very unstable country. Just like in Russia, you see protests. Now, Russia's a big country, but the news I've seen tonight is probably about 12, 14 hours old. So they're actually, in Russia, it is now Wednesday morning, whereas here it's only Tuesday evening in Nova Scotia when I'm recording from. But the point I want to make is that the people in Russia have the courage to get up and stand up to Vladimir Putin. China, Communist China, 10 years ago, had a lot of instability. There's hundreds, in fact, there's even thousands of protests in China. And I'm not just talking little ones. Major protests. And it doesn't get picked up. CNN won't handle it. The major networks went out. There's thousands of protests in China. Look at what they're doing to the Uyghur Muslims in northern China, northwestern China. They take awful, terrible. It's just like Hitler. In fact, I'm going to go on making another point. You look at the three greatest, not greatest, not great about them. Take that word back. The three largest mass murderers we had in the history of the world are Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and Mao Zedong. I'm going to repeat that. The three largest mass murderers, they estimate that Hitler's responsible for 50 million deaths. Nobody knows for sure. 50 million plus. Horrific, terrible. Joseph Stalin, at least 20 million. The starvation of the Ukrainians during the 30s. His wife protested and he had his own wife killed. And it's the brutality, the Siberia, just the whole communist, godless communist complex. And Mao Zedong, they brutalized the people that wouldn't become communist in China. Their own people starved. Yes, China's made progress. I'm not without knowing facts. I don't know everything by any means. I'm mere mortal. I'm learning all every day. The fact is, interesting fact, that I'm told that communist China poured more cement from, I think, the year 1999 to 2009 to what the United States has poured since it was founded as the country, Declaration of Independence in 1776. So in 6 more years, we'll be celebrating the quarter millennium. So the first 200, my statistics about 10 years old, so in the first 234 years of the United States as a country, communist China from 1999 to 2009 poured more yards of cement. And I used a tremendous amount of steel and rail. And I still pour a lot of cement and use a tremendous amount of steel and rail and coking coal and iron ore. And there's no question, for a huge country, huge population especially, they have made significant, in fact, even one could use tremendous progress. But people, when they lack freedom, you do not get, when people don't have their freedom, you're not getting a max. I said this before. Bill Gates. Take Bill Gates. You can say Bill Gates. You can say Madame Curie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Amelia Earhart with her gall and nerve and courage. These people, Stephen Jobs, you cannot stand over them and get them to be creative. People perform best ultimately when independent. You can only push people so far. And I'm going to be bold. Someday, communist China will be free. And maybe sooner than we think. Adolf Hitler bragged, boasted, the Third Reich, that it will last 1,000 years. And you look at he came to power in 1933. By April of 1945, he committed suicide. It was 12 years. The Third Reich that was supposed to last 1,000 years lasted 5, 10 plus 2, 12 years. Communist Russia. You look at the Bolshevik Revolution, Russian Revolution. I think it was in 1917. Vladimir Lenin and Leo Tolstoy, based on Karl Marx's philosophy of communism. And by, 1989, 1990, so looking at about 72, 73 years, 74 years the maximum, between 72 to 74 years, depends on your counting, communist Russia, the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union lasted. Things aren't perfect over there, but at least they have some freedom. So 74 years. Communist revolution in Chinese Civil War, that's how we got Taiwan. Chiang Kai-shek and his dedicated band of nationalists, free Chinese, went to Formosa and founded Taiwan. They've been very successful. So 1949, here we are in 2020, 71 years. Communist China will fall, and I'll be bold. You can archive this, you can mark this, record this note. You can note what I'm saying. Communist China will fall, and it may fall sooner than people think. They have an aging population. Aging population. people seen what's happening in Hong Kong. And with big populations, a double-edged sword. Unless they're going to take one of their, terrifically utter these words, take one of their atomic bombs and drop it their own people, communist China, the day that the people get backbone, and they do have backbone, the Chinese people themselves are very good people, but it's the Communist Party and their dictatorship and the stuff they're pushing all over the world. Not good. Bad stuff. They will fall. And the day with that number of people start to turn in their government, nothing. He didn't hold the Shah of Iran in power. He had some good points. He wasn't all bad. He didn't hold him in power. And it just didn't hold Gorbachev in power and the cronies. Communist Russia fell. Communist China will fall. So I want to sum this up. I've gone on again longer than usual. I want you to spread the word in this here. There's a reason why United States will not use Huawei's equipment. There's a reason why Australia will not use Huawei equipment. And there's a reason why the British government today, or last night, early this morning, decided not to discontinue on an expedited basis use of the Huawei equipment in their 5G rollout. There's a reason for that. Yes, Communist China, I can hold up the globe of the world. Communist China, half-decent-sized country, they have made strides. The Chinese people themselves are good. But the communist totalitarian system goes against what people all over the world of all nationality and creeds and ethnicity want. People want freedom. That's why we had the American Revolution. That's why we had Confederation in Canada. That's why communism fell in Russia. That's why communist China will fall. And with that, I got to go. I thank you for bearing with me. Little lengthy video, but I very intensely believe what I'm saying. And I ask you to spread the word, spread it throughout the free world. America, Canada, Western Europe, Great Britain, Australia. Spread the word over YouTube, the internet, Facebook, telephone, however. And if you'd be so kind as to press the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a cent, as I so often say. Doesn't cost you a cent, and it'll give you electronic notification when new videos come out. And press the like button if you're so kind. And until next time, this is John Pettipas wishing all of you, and a shout out to people all around the world that yearn for their freedom. Do not lose faith. Do not lose faith. You will get your freedom. You just keep on doing what you're doing. You'll get your freedom. So next time, this is John Pettipas, wrapping up at about 20 past 7, just after 20 past 7 in evening, Nova Scotia time, on Tuesday night, Bastille Day, the 14th day of July. Wishing all you wonderful folks all the best, and God bless. Thank you for tuning in. Good night now. Bye for now.